All right, so we've just concluded our 11 days of peace and we are on our last day. And we have talked about a call to change, that we need to change the world, and the way we can do that is the way that we talk to people and act to people. Our language and our actions can change the world around us and the world we live in. And then we talked about unity and that we are the key to change. And that if we work together, that we can start today as the first day of our future to impact the world. And next was environment and how we impact the environment by the choices that we make. We can choose to pollute or we can choose to use less and leave a smaller footprint that we were ever here. Then we talked about economic impact or opportunity costs. What price are we willing to pay for convenience? Do we buy all kinds of things and just throw lots of stuff away? Do we stay up all night and not be able to be awake at school the next day? What price are we willing to pay for being up all night and not being able to do good in school, or to be able to use lots and lots of stuff, and then there's huge trash dumps in the world? Then we talked about health and wellness and the different areas of our life that we can be well. We can be well socially, mentally, we can be well physically, spiritually, we can be well in the environment. Depending on how well we are as ourselves will cause us to react a certain way with other people. If we're just angry all the time because we're not well, then we'll be acting in violence or we'll be really upset all the time. If we're happy because we've exercised and our diet is good and we're getting sleep, then we'll be able to impact the world that we live in by being calm and being able to make good decisions and not compromising our values or our mental capacities, because we'll be able to be calm, Goose Faba. And then we talked about interdependence and the reason that we need to be able to depend on each other and support each other for encouragement. Then we talked about human rights. Is everybody got the same rights? Do girls and guys have rights? Do the same countries have rights? If I have a right to bear arms, does that mean I have a right to kill people? If I have rights, does it mean I can verbally or physically abuse others? Can countries take away human rights? There's a lady on the news in the Philippines that she just got an award because she has decided to not let fear overtake her, and she's speaking out for what's right. And then we talked about disarmament. So if we can bear arms, is it okay for us to just attack people and be violent? Can we do acts of violence because we can bear arms? Should everyone's arms be taken away because a few people are hurting other people? Where's the decision going to be made? And then we talked about our freedom and what are the costs of freedom. And some people have died for freedom. Our country, a lot of us don't really do that much anymore, but our forefathers did. And they wrote up artifacts to put rights in place so we would have freedoms. There are lots of rules that are in place so that we have the freedom to make decisions. So we have the right to safety. If we have the right to safety in the United States, the FDA makes sure that our food is safe and our equipment and things we use is safe. There's other organizations that are from our government that help keep us safe. We have MSDS sheets that we learned about in class that help tell us the rules about different chemicals and safety policies, and if something will explode or something will catch on fire. And then the last day is our day of peace. And today is the International Day of Peace. And across the world, people are going to be making pinwheels to display in different areas and express that we're unified in a decision to proclaim to the world that we want peace and we want to act in peace. So our project that we're doing is we're going to make a pinwheel for peace, and we're going to plant a pinwheel garden down at the marquee at the road. And so if you have 11 by 14 pieces of paper, you could fold them in half like this, and you could just tear it apart. And this would make 2 pinwheels. Then you would fold the triangle one more time. And you can either tear this also. I'll just tear it because some of you may not all have scissors, and I just want you to know you can. And so press that really well and tear that down. If you have scissors, great. If you don't let it cause you stress. Then we're going to fold it in half one more time. And now when we open it, we'll have 4 sections. And our 4 sections we're going to talk about is war, we're going to write that in there, and peace, harmony, and tolerance. So you can draw a picture of what each of those things mean to you. If there's war, I tend to think there's violence, so I'm just going to draw like dynamite exploding on mine. There's lots of things you can write. Word draw. I'm just giving you some ideas. Peace, I like to think of a dove of peace, so I'm going to draw a dove. That's probably going to look a little bit more like a chicken, but it'll be okay. And then harmony. Well, when I think about harmony, I think about singing, so I'm going to draw some music notes. But there's all kinds of harmony. Harmony means that we're living together and we're working together and we're in peace. And then tolerance is when you are able to not let somebody push you too far. So like if somebody's acting a certain way, you don't retaliate by hurting them back. Or if you're in pain, like sometimes I burn myself in the kitchen, then I can tolerate more heat just because I'm used to it. And I can just sort of tell myself I'm not going to feel that pain, even though it hurts. And so I don't give it place. I don't entertain whatever the emotion or the physical strain is. Sometimes when you're working out, you say, I can do it. I don't feel any pain. I can keep on lifting weight, or I can keep on running, or whatever. You can tolerate a lot. So I'm going to put, actually, I think I'll put a shoe here with wings on the back, so that I can tolerate a lot and I can just keep on running towards the future and success. And then on the back, you can divide this into different parts where you decorate it in different ways. And if you have colors, this would be great to decorate it with colors. And if you don't have colors, a pencil will work just fine, because you can just put different patterns on the back. And so I have 4 patterns on the back, and I have my 4 words in the middle. And I'm gonna measure out 2 inches with my ruler. You can guesstimate this, and the only reason I'm doing it is so that I cut in the same amount each time. And another way you could do it is while it's folded, you can measure 1 time maybe and do it that way, so that all 4 are there. So I have a little dot, dot, dot. And then I'm going to cut in that far. You don't want to cut all the way in, otherwise it won't turn into a pinwheel. And then I'm going to use my glue stick to put glue in the middle, and I'm going to, this one's on the right, so I'm going to do the right one every time. So that's the right one. And I'm going a little, I'm not putting the tip into the middle, I need it to go just a little further. And then I go right, and then I put some more glue and I go right, and then I put some more glue and I go right. And then that'll dry, but depending on if you have a pencil or a skewer. If you have a pencil, you're going to stick a thumbtack in there and stick it into the top of the eraser. And if you have a skewer, that's going to dry, but you're going to tape your skewer on the back with masking tape. And right here on the back, you want to write your name someplace in that 2-inch circle. So it would be 2 inches out, 2 inches out, so it's got a 4-inch diameter. So you want to write your name in there someplace so you get credit. And then either you're going to plant your pinwheel down in our pinwheel garden with your teacher, or your teacher's going to give them to me, and then my class and maybe student council and FCCLA students will go down and plant them in our garden. Thank you very much for participating in our community service learning project for our school.